Hey guys, it's Simeon. This is Pro Wrestling Unlimited. Let's try this again. Got it worked. For some reason, had to restart my streaming software. It wasn't picking up my mic. I don't know what's going on, but we're now here on the 12th of March, 2021 to talk about everything that went down tonight on Monday. No, Friday Night Smackdown. I'm all jumbled up now. I apologize. We're live on Twitch. We're live on YouTube. Hopefully everybody gets into the new stream that it's set up. I don't know what went wrong. Honestly, I don't. It just wasn't picking up my mic. I had to restart it, and then it was, boom, good to go. So that's very weird. It's only happened a couple times before where I've had to restart the software for it to pick up, but we'll roll on. We'll trek on. Thank you for joining me here. Twitch.tv/PWU Unlimited. YouTube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited. Remember, if you are watching here on Twitch, you can help us out a couple of different ways, either by hitting that donate button down below or by hitting that bit button, donating them Twitch bits. You can also help us out by subscribing to the channel here on Twitch, either with a tiered subscription or for free with Amazon Prime, because if you have Amazon Prime, then you have Prime Gaming. With Prime Gaming, you get one free subscription to any Twitch channel that you want to subscribe to throughout the month, and I would greatly appreciate it if you use that free subscription on us right here at Pro Wrestling Unlimited. On the flip side, if you're watching over on YouTube, you can help us out a couple of different ways there as well. You can help us out either with a super chat or super sticker donation, or you can help us out by subscribing to the channel as a channel member. As a channel member, you get perks for being a channel member, as in badges next to your name in the live chat, emojis in the live chat, early access to non-news videos, and early access to news that only goes up for our subscribers here on YouTube that are channel members, or on our Patreon, patreon.com/PW Unlimited. That is the best way to directly support us, is supporting us, though, over there at Patreon, patreon.com/PW Unlimited. Because if you really want to support us, that's the way that, I guess you could say, the platform takes the less from us. Because YouTube, we barely see any of the channel membership stuff. I'm going to say it right now. They take like 33%. So you donate, you sign up as a channel member for $5. We don't get 33% of that. Patreon, they just take a tiny bit, like less than 10%, I think it is. But anyways, with that, we're here to talk about Friday Night Smackdown, as this was an interesting show as far as not for tonight, but interesting for next week, I would say, at least to me. And some may think differently, but let's throw our polls up as more people jump in. I know, a little rigmarole trying to get people in, because it was like, oh, you're on this one stream link, and then no, you're on this stream link. Where are you at? You started over. But we're good to go. What did you think of tonight's SmackDown? Throw that poll up on Twitch. I liked it. It was all right. I didn't like it. Poll is live on Twitch. We'll throw the same poll up on YouTube. I liked it. It was all right. Come on. Didn't like it. All right. Polls are live on both Twitch and YouTube as we get going. The show kicked off with Edge coming down to the ring. Well, actually, it kicked off with a recap of Daniel Bryan beating Jey Uso, and then Edge made his way down to the ring. He noted there's a big contract signing tonight. However, Edge needs to address a few other topics. He said Roman Reigns spent weeks demanding that Edge acknowledge him, demanding that Edge pick him for WrestleMania. Edge pointed out, I did so. And then suddenly, Roman changed his mind and went down the Daniel Bryan Boulevard route. He said he turns his attention to Daniel Bryan. And Edge, that has made him furious because Bryan has gone into business for himself. He's upset that Bryan feels that he deserves the WrestleMania main event over him. Edge noted that he helped build SmackDown back in the day. He claimed that while Bryan was working maybe once a week, he worked 5 times a week. Edge listed names he competed against, including Eddie Guerrero, Batista, Mr. Perfect, the British Bulldog, Terry Funk, and more. Well, just to say, so the last, I want to say, week of Daniel Bryan's career before he signed with WWE and was done on the indies, it's all documented on Colt Cabana's Roadside Diaries. And they don't work just one day a week. That's like a full week or 5 days or something like that straight of work. Them traveling to indies, wrestling for 10 people at one show, 20 people at another show, then doing a Ring of Honor taping. And it's like, no, he wasn't just working one night a week. And it's documented on Colt Cabana's Roadside Diaries. I believe the first one. There's like 3 or 4 different ones. And Bryan is on the first one. But going forward, Bryan's music would hit and he made his way out to the ring. He recognized that Edge earned the title shot, yes. But Bryan admitted that this could be his last WrestleMania. And he's been saying this for a while. If you don't watch Talking Smack, Bryan has been saying this for a while. This could be his last WrestleMania, or at least last chance to have a big opportunity at a WrestleMania. He said he's going to do whatever it takes to main event this year. Bryan noted that this isn't about Edge. He went into business for himself because he needs to give it one more shot. And my whole thing is, okay, if Bryan beats Roman at WrestleMania or at Fastlane, that doesn't mean Edge is out. Edge still gets to main event. He's just going to main event against, well, Daniel Bryan. Edge and Bryan were really good in this segment. It was just strange that it really feels like, and we saw more of this at the very end of the show, they're really pitting them together. Like somehow they're going to fight. Whether that is after Fastlane or Bryan gets added at WrestleMania and it's a triple threat. I mean, it could happen. We've seen the WrestleMania match be set from the Royal Rumble and then it turned into a triple threat. We've seen it with John Cena in 2008. We saw it with Rey Mysterio. He won the Royal Rumble in 2006. So we've seen the Royal Rumble WrestleMania title match turn into a triple threat before, like I stated. WrestleMania 22, no. 22, it was 22. Trying to think back. WrestleMania 22, Rey Mysterio won, Randy Orton got added, triple threat, bing, bang, boom, Kurt lost the title to Rey. Then we got WrestleMania 24, 2008. This one was a jumbled up one. Cena said he didn't want to wait till WrestleMania to challenge for the title. He challenged for the title at the intermediate pay-per-view in the middle. And then it ended up being a triple threat match. And you can correct me if I'm wrong on this. I'm actually going to look it up. It was Triple H, Randy Orton, and John Cena. WrestleMania 24. Not 14. WrestleMania 24. Yeah. So that was right. I was right. It was Randy Orton successfully Randy Orton won. He beat John Cena and Triple H in a triple threat match. But with that, as we move on, we have an 8-man tag team match. The Street Profits and the Mysterios against tag team champions Ziggler and Rude, Gable, and Otis. The baby faces are making their way down to the ring when they're attacked by the heels on the ramp. The heels jump them, beat them up, and we go to break. When we come back, Angelo Dawkins and Bobby Roode had started off this match. Dawkins ran wild and hit a series of drop kicks. Montez Ford rocked Roode with a drop kick as well. The heels took over on as Otis and Dominic were in the ring, and Otis caught Dominic with a double axe handle. He isolated Dominic and cut him off from the corner. Roode slowed the pace down and worked over Dominic's leg. Roode attempted a suplex, but Dominic countered into a tornado DDT. Dominic got the tag. Dominic Dawkins. I don't know why I read Dominic as Dawkins. Goddamn dyslexia. Anyways, Dawkins got the tag and ran wild on the heels. Montez Ford would eventually get tagged in and climbed to the top rope for a frog splash, but Rouge shoved him off. Ford took a nasty fall to the floor and hit the ropes on his way down. Back from a break, the heels were firmly in control as Ziggler isolated Ford on their side of the ring. And, I mean, we give shit to other companies when they have bad punches and stuff, like December 18th, 2019 Dark Order and those bad punches? Well, they've got Montez Ford in the corner. Dolph's holding him in the corner. You got Gable, you've got Rude, you've got Otis. They're all trying to punch Montez Ford, and all of Otis's punches are hitting Dolph. All of them. They're all hitting Dolph. And Dolph's no selling it, and finally Ford just falls down in the corner. So Ford crawls to his side of the corner eventually after getting out of a sleeper hold from Dolph. Ford makes the tag in the heels, distract the referee. The heels dragged Ford back to their corner. He didn't make the tag. The heels dragged Ford back to their corner, and Gable gave Ford a German suplex, but he landed on his feet. Rey Mysterio then got the tag and ran wild, hitting a DDT on Gable, and Otis broke up a pin attempt. Dominic hit a crossbody block, but Otis caught him. Rey hit a senton on Otis. Finish of the match then came when Rey and Dominic hit double 619s on Rude. Ford would follow this up with one of his sky-high frog splashes to pick up the victory. So with that, the Street Profits, well, Montez Ford, has been one of the current tag team champions. So, eventually, Street Profits is getting a rematch for the tag titles. Going forward, they recapped. This was a little bit of a letdown. So, I loved the way they announced Molly Holly going into the Hall of Fame. I loved the way they announced, hey, Molly is going into the Hall of Fame, but we're going to surprise announce this to her with Hurricane Helms. Shane Helms, Hurricane Helms, whatever you want to call him, told Molly live on the bump, you're going into the Hall of Fame. But what irked me is that they showed that clip tonight on SmackDown, but didn't have a Molly Holly video ready to go to recap her career in 30 seconds, 30, 60 seconds. Always we get that recap video of this person. It's already been announced, but we're going to show you again tonight going into the Hall of Fame. And for everyone that's going to say, maybe they didn't have time to make a video. Fuck no, they didn't have time to make a video. Yes, they did. They had plenty of time. I could have made a Molly Holly retrospective 30 to 60 second highlight video. Now, there's two things there. Either they don't care and it's just like, we needed a name, or it's, we needed a name and Molly really didn't do enough in her career in WWE to, I guess you could say, warrant a highlight video, even though she is a two-time women's tag team champion and had an amazing match at WrestleMania 20 with Victoria where she got her head shaved. So, just saying. In the back, Jey Uso approached Paul Heyman in front of Roman Reigns' locker room. Heyman goes, happy to see you, but what are you doing? He's like, I'm talking to Roman. He's like, have you talked to him recently? He's like, he was cool 2 days ago. And Paul goes, it's Friday. You may want to let him cool down. And Jay goes, yeah, I got some other things I need to take care of. I'll come back and talk to him later. And Heyman's like, yeah, that's the right call. He'll be ready to talk to you later. Back from break, Caleb Braxton interviewed Seth Rollins. They recapped Cesaro giving Rollins the giant swing a few weeks ago. Rollins was none too happy to see that again, saying, hey, why do we got to keep reliving that? That was in the past. Rollins noted that he was just out trying to help Cesaro, but he got mocked and embarrassed. Rollins then goes, I want nothing to do with Cesaro. Cesaro, the big waste of potential. And Kayla goes, well, tonight, Cesaro's going to have a rematch with Murphy. And Seth goes, oh, really? Okay, maybe I'm not done with Cesaro. Let's see how this goes. Then we get a god-awful segment that I'm not even going to recap, other than Nia took Reginald shopping. Shayna tagged along for some reason. Eventually, Reginald picks out a suit, sits in Nia's lap. He says, how can I repay you? Nia gives him sexy eyes, and it's over. This was dumb. And I want to know how much they paid off this. I want to know how much they paid this, what's it called? Wow, store to give them exclusive access to the store where they didn't have to wear masks. Where it's like, we'll close the doors for everybody but you, so it's only you guys and no one has to wear a mask. So yeah. They basically insinuated, because Nia was like, "You're looking good, Reggie." Basically insinuated she buys Reginald the suit, he fucks her, and we're all good. Next up, we had Cesaro versus Murphy. Cesaro and Murphy had a really good match here. It was kind of short, though. Rollins, well, it was short and had a bad finish. The match itself was good, which I say a lot in WWE. I realized I say this quite often. That was a good match, but the fucking finish killed it. Cesaro had the early advantage and rocked Murphy with a kick to the face. Cesaro charged at Murphy on the floor. Murphy caught him with a jumping knee. Murphy climbed to the top rope, but Cesaro cut him off. He followed this up with the superplex from the apron. Cesaro hit Murphy with a series of uppercuts. Cesaro then caught Murphy in a giant swing, but Seth Rollins ran in, attacked Cesaro, and caused a disqualification. After the match, Rollins would attack Cesaro more, hitting him with 2 curb stomps, leaving him laying in the ring. Rollins put Cesaro's head into a steel chair and teased another curb stomp until officials came down to break it all up. Then, in a really cool moment, Seth is retreating. He's like, "Hey, you told me to leave, I'm leaving. I'm not going to touch him anymore." Seth walks into the back, and who was standing there? Nakamura, looking pissed off. Nakamura doesn't say a word to Seth, but he looks at him like, "Fuck with my friend, I fuck with you." Or, "You fuck with my friend, you fuck with me." So we getting, and I hope this is what they do. I so hope this is what they do, because I was worried that they're going to rush this. I hope Cesaro is out, injured, can't be at SmackDown next week. So Seth comes out and goes, "Hey, he doesn't have potential. He doesn't even have enough to come back this week. I took him out. He's weak, blah, 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 blah." Nakamura comes out. Nakamura comes out and says, "Oh, you cheap shotted him. You took advantage of him because he was already in a match. How about you and I have a match this weekend? Fastlane. Fastlane, we get Cesaro, or we get Seth Rollins, Nakamura. Fortunately, Nakamura will have to lose to Seth Rollins, but then coming out of that match, we can then build up for Seth versus Cesaro at WrestleMania. Because I've been saying for the past couple of weeks now since Seth returned, Cesaro, Seth, Mania, give it to me. But I was worried that they were going to rush that and do it at Fastlane. But now that they've added Nakamura into the mix here, I'm digging that. And I'm digging the possible Seth Nakamura match, because I don't know if we've ever seen Seth Rollins versus Nakamura before. I'm going to look that up. Seth Rollins versus Shinsuke Nakamura. We have seen that match before. Survivor Series 2018, IC Champ versus US Champ. And that match was, from what I'm remembering now, thinking back to it, phenomenal. That match was great. I loved that. And I can't say I loved that match because I don't remember too much about it, but I remember it being good. Seth was the IC champ for Raw. Nakamura was the US champ for SmackDown. I remember that match being really good now that I'm thinking about it. Yeah. So it looks like we could be getting that match again at Fastlane a week from Sunday. Sami Zayn and his documentary crew approached Kevin Owens, who's making his way out to the ring. Zayn says he wants Owens to be in the documentary because nobody knows him better than Kevin. Kevin goes, "You know what? I'll think." Well, he's like, I'll, and Sammy's like, "Come on, just do it. Don't shrug me off and whatever." He's like, "No, I'm not going to shrug you off. I'm going to think about it. I'm actually going to contemplate it." So Owens is like, I got stuff to do. I got to host the KO show, but I will definitely think about this and I will get back to you. After a commercial break, Edge approached Jey Uso in the back. He's known Uso and his family for a very long time. He remembers when Uso was a 10-year-old kid and would come to shows with his father and jump in the ring and run around and even do stuff with Edge in that ring. Uso, Edge then said that, "Well, I'm a little disappointed at what you've become to Roman Reigns." I can't remember the exact line he said. I didn't write it down. But it was like, "You're the lapdog for the big dog," I think is what he said. Uso then got in Edge's face and told him, "Go home to your family." Next up, we get the KO show. Kevin Owens noted that fans hadn't seen him for a while now. He he's pulled himself back up. Owen introduced his guest, Bianca Belair, and SmackDown Women's Champion Sasha Banks. Owens pointed out that they're facing each other at WrestleMania, but before that, they're going to have to team up together and challenge for the tag titles of Fastlane. Owens noted that they could be facing each other at WrestleMania as the current tag team champions. The only other time we've seen that is WrestleMania, I want to say it was 23, John Cena, Shawn Michaels. He said, if you guys can do this, you'll be making history. Or on the right side of history, I think it was. Something like that. Belair noted, Kevin then said, yet you already had a shot and you lost. That's when Belair would go in and say, hey, we lost because of Sasha. And her little thing with Reginald. Reginald's got a crush on her. He came down to the ring because of her. He got involved because of her. She is the one that cost him the match. She thinks it's all because of her. Banks and Belair would argue back and forth about this. Belair thinks that Banks gives Reginald too much attention, and that's why he keeps coming back for more. Sasha may say she doesn't like him and doesn't like the attention, but Bianca thinks she actually does like the attention. Banks, who is supposed to be a fucking babyface but acts like a heel, goes, that's bold coming from the EST to the BEST. I'm the Michael Jordan of this women's division. Maybe one day you can at least be like LeBron James. And I'm just like, and she did the laugh like 2 or 3 times. I was just like, not a baby face. She's a fucking heel. Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler were to interrupt with Reginald. They made their way to commentary as Natalya and Tamina would come out because we got a tag match. Tag match, play a holla holla. Tag match was Natty and Tamina against Sasha and Bianca. They had an okay tag match that had typical distraction finish of WWE. Way too many distraction finishes recently in WWE. Jax Baszler and Reginald all joined Michael Cole and Corey Graves on commentary. And I was pissed at this because they spent more time focusing on the commentary than the match itself. More time on Nia saying, look at Reggie's suit. Look how Reggie looks. Reggie looks so good. Look how cute is Reggie. And then Sasha would go over there and get in Reginald's face, and the two had a stare off on the announcer's table. Like, I didn't even get anything of what happened in the goddamn match. I got everything that happened outside the ring. So Sasha shoves Reginald off the announcer's table. He runs into the ring as Tamina's got Bianca up on her shoulders. He does some sort of distraction thing, jumps in the ring, jumps out of the ring. Bianca gets all distracted. Bianca gets pinned. Tamina and Natty win. So after the match, we got Natty and Tamina celebrating, and Bianca and Sasha yelling at each other, with Bianca saying it again. This is your fault. I got pinned, but you're the one that cost us this match. You're giving him too much attention. You're giving him too much attention, and you're liking it, and he's coming back for more because of it. And Sasha's just standing there taking this, going, no, that ain't it. You got pinned. This is on you. And Bianca's just like, no, it's not on me. It's not. As they come back from the break, they're still arguing in the back. Banks refused to accept any blame. Called Belair. So she goes, this is not on me. You need to learn, rookie. And then walked off. No. I get where they're trying to get to here, but no. So Big E comes out for his segment, and he's all bandaged up, got a crutch and everything, and Graves goes, oh man, I didn't realize the Big E was this bad off. And he ditches the crutch, he pulls off the head bandage, he pulls off the sling, he's pissed off Big E. This Big E I've been waiting to see for a very long time. Big E gets in the ring and cuts a furious promo on Apollo Crews. Talks about Apollo Crews throwing the steps on him a few weeks ago, and he promised he's going to get revenge on Crews. Big E noted that this is an eye for an eye. You take something from me, I'm going to take 2 things from you. He then demanded Crews come down here right now. He said, I don't want to wait. We don't need to wait. We can do this right now. I'll put the title on the line. Let's go, Apollo. Crews don't come out. Big E keeps yelling, let's go, Apollo. Come on, Apollo. no Apollo Crews. Biggie then goes, I came down here ready to fight. I'm ready to go. Screw it. Open challenge. My title's on the line. Out would come Corbin. Corbin comes out in a suit and he goes, hey, I'm not dressed to wrestle, but I'll risk messing up this $10,000 suit to possibly win that title. Scratching up this Rolex, possibly win that title. Now comes Sami Zayn. And Sami be like, whoa, I'm taking this match. Yeah, watch out. And Corbin goes, like, no, I came out here first. They argue for a little bit, and Miggy says he's heard enough, promises to give a title shot to the first person that jumps into this ring. Zayn jumped in, and Big E said, okay. And he beat him down. Tossed him out of the ring. We go to commercial. Come back, Sami versus Big E in a pretty good match. I liked this match. Big E had the early advantage as he rocked Zayn with the back elbow for a near fall. He tossed Zayn across the ring, and he tossed him so hard that Sami literally ran, bounced off the top turnbuckle, and crashed to the mat below. Big E then hit him with a boot to the face. Zayn, though, would eventually get his wits about him and take control and hit an elbow off the second rope for a near fall. He attempted an elbow again, but Big E caught him with the belly-to-belly suplex. Zayn gained a little bit of control when Big E missed a splash on the apron. Back from a break, Zayn and Big E fought on the top rope. Zayn hit the sunset bomb for a close near fall. Zayn slapped Big E in the face, which fired him up. Big E rocked Zayn with a clothesline and then hit Big E with... Big E rocked Zayn with a clothesline and then Big E hit the big ending to pick up the victory. I wrote that way wrong. I wrote Big E hit the Big E, and that's where it confused me. Anyways, it was the big ending to pick up the victory. After the match, or actually during the match, Big E is out there still yelling, Apollo, where are you at, Apollo? And Apollo comes out after the match. His music hits, and he jumps Big E from behind. Hits him with the angle slam. Cruz hits a second angle slam and tosses the steps into the ring. He then hit Big E with the steps and knocked him to the floor. We go to the back. Kayla Braxton interviews Nia Jax with Reginald. And Nia's like, hey, Kayla, what are you doing here? And she's like, I just want to get your thoughts, on what's going on. You got your tag title match coming up. What's the deal with you and Reginald? And Reginald goes, I got this. He goes, Sasha says that she's going to walk in and out of WrestleMania as a double champion. But Nia, what if you can walk into WrestleMania as a double champion? I think next week you should challenge Sasha for the SmackDown Women's Championship. And Nia says she likes the idea. We go to break, and when we come back, we're getting ready for the contract signing. But we do get announced, next week, Adam Pearce liked Reginald's idea because it is official. Next week, Sasha Banks will defend the SmackDown Women's Championship against Nia Jax. We get the Universal title Fastlane contract signing. Universal Champion Roman Reigns, Jey Uso, and Paul Heyman. And when we come back from break, Bryan makes his way down to the ring. Adam and Pearce noted that they've both read over the contracts. Reigns made Pearce give him a chair so he could sit at the head of the table. Reigns admitted a few weeks ago he agreed to the match, but he doesn't want it anymore. He's changed his mind. He said, I'm not signing. Bryan actually kind of got a little excited. So he signed the contract out of enthusiasm. Bryan would go on to mock Roman and taunt Roman. Basically say, if you're the head of the table, you'll fight anybody. You must be scared. Said a couple of other things. Finally, Roman's just like, you know what? I'll sign it. I'm going to sign it. And Bryan says something. I can't remember exactly what. And Uso gets pissed off like he always does. Tries to stand up for Roman. He throws the table out of the ring, gets in Bryan's face, and he goes, Adam Pearce, you know what this match needs a fast lane? It needs a special guest enforcer, and I think that special guest enforcer should be me. And all of a sudden, Edge's music would hit. And Edge would make his way down to the ring and go, hey, I've got an idea. For the first time in 11 years, how about I have my first singles match on SmackDown? I take on Jey Uso next week. The winner of our match becomes the special enforcer for this match at Fastlane. And Pearce goes, I love the idea. Let's do it. So Edge comes down to the ring after the match is made official, and a brawl ensues. Edge goes after Roman as Jey Uso goes after Bryan. Bryan dispatches of Jey Uso. He tries to go after Roman Reigns, and Edge pulls him off. This pisses off Daniel Bryan. Edge turns around and gets the double knees in the face from Daniel Bryan as Bryan lays out Edge and is the last man standing in the middle of the ring. So they're really playing up the fact that Edge and Bryan are not getting along now, and that something may happen. But with that, that was Friday Night Smackdown. I thought it was a pretty good show that really built up to next week. Now, here's the thing. Some of you are going to say, why are we getting these matches next week? No, I get the women's title. Oh, never mind. They're really it. I was thinking something, but then in thinking of it again, I stopped myself because what I was going to say would be wrong. But they're building up next week's SmackDown as a big show because they're going up against March Madness in the NCAA tournament. So next week's SmackDown is going to be an interesting one to see how much they pack it with big stuff, especially since it is the go-home show for Fastlane. Do we get stuff on the show next week that should be held off 2 days to Fastlane? Because they need to help the rating against the NCAA tournament. We'll see. That was Friday Night Smackdown. Remember, guys, if you want to be part of tonight's show, you can do so by texting in to 510-906-1341. Again, that number is 510-906-1341. Got a couple text messages here. First, let's get our polls on Twitch. You guys, 83% thought SmackDown was just all right. 17% liked SmackDown, and nobody disliked it. As far as YouTube does go, 58% liked SmackDown, 33% thought SmackDown was all right, and 8% did not like SmackDown. But as far as, let's see, text messages do go. First says, Sasha's going to go full heel at Fastlane because she may attack Bianca during the match. I don't think that happens. Maybe after, but I don't think during. Because Sasha's whole thing is she wants to go in and out of Mania as Sasha two belts, or two belts Banks. That's what it is. She wants to go in and out of Mania, two belts Banks. So she's not going to risk anything in the match. After the match, maybe. Going forward, this says, who do you think should challenge for the Raw Championship and Women's Tag Team Championships next? Well, I mean, Tamina and Natty have a fair fight of, a fair argument of, hey, we should be challenging for the tag titles. They beat the technically current number one contenders. As far as the WWE Championship does go, well, that's going to be either Sheamus or Drew McIntyre. I think Drew McIntyre. The word right now is they're going to have a last man standing number one contenders match at Fastlane. And this person here says, probably won't happen, but somehow, do you see WWE adding Bryan into the mix for Reigns versus Edge's Universal title match before Mania and after Fastlane? I said that earlier. I think that could happen. I think this match at Mania, I go on a whole spiel of other triple threats at Mania. So yeah, I do think this could happen. A triple threat match for the Universal title at WrestleMania. 100% I think it could happen. Is it going to happen? I don't know, but it's very, very, very plausible. And the person says, do you any last-second title changes before WrestleMania? I think Riddle or Dolph Ziggler and Rude will lose the titles next. Riddle could. I don't know if I would put that title on Ali. I would have when he first started Retribution, but now Retribution's so cold, I don't see it. As far as the tag titles, that can go either way. Take it or leave it. I don't really care who's the champions going into WrestleMania. SmackDown tag division doesn't really matter anyways. And this last person says, are they building Braun versus Shane at Mania? Boy, howdy, are they. That is the direction. Braun Strowman versus Shane McMahon, WrestleMania. But with that, guys, I want to say thank you for joining me here. Twitch.tv/PWU Unlimited, YouTube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited. We'll be live again on Monday talking about Monday Night Raw. So have a great weekend. Remember, you can follow us on social media, Facebook.com/Pro Wrestling ULTD, YouTube right here, YouTube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited, on Instagram by searching for Pro Wrestling Unlimited, Twitter.com/PW Unlimited, and always remember to keep an eye on our website, PWUnlimited.co, because a lot of times news gets posted there earlier and before it gets posted on YouTube. It's just quicker to get news beats out on YouTube or on the website than making a whole video sometimes. So always remember, go to the website, pwunlimited.co. If you're watching on Chrome, a thing will pop down and say, hey, would you like to turn post notifications on for this website? Please do so. Almost 600 of you have already. If you don't see that, there may be a red bell in the right bottom corner of the website where you can also turn on the post notifications. But with that, guys, have a great night. Have a great weekend. See you next time.